Al, it's been insightful talking to you. You clearly know a lot about, Diddy rugby, engaging kids, all that kind of stuff. Let's just have a look at what you know about Super League. Okay, so we're going to move on to our predictions round.
The good news is you've got to beat last week's guest score, which was Greg Wood, CEO of Midlands Hurricanes. He only got 2 right out of 6, so that's the benchmark. That's what you got to beat this week. Right. And me and Craig, we both got 3 last week, so we tied last week, but I'm still 1 up for the season.
3 out of what? 6 rounds. 6
games.
Per
6 games.
So that's only a 50%.
Don't laugh.
Shocking. By the way, if people find this section really actually, I've looked at the analytics and people actually they'll fast forward to this bit, so whether they just like seeing me squirm and get stuff wrong, I don't know. But anyway, it looks like it's here to stay.
Right, rock and roll, then let's go. Thursday, first game is Wigan versus Catalan. Wigan beat Cas 36-0. Catalan also beat Hull 38 points to 6. So 2 very similar scores, 2 high-flying teams at the minute. Catalan won 3 from 3. Wigan have won 2 from 3. Wigan have scored 96 points in the last 2 weeks.
Without conceding.
And haven't conceded a point. So although they started a bit rocky, they've clearly had some fire put up them. So Alex, I'll go to you first. Wigan or Catalan? It's at Wigan.
At Wigan. I think that'll be the game of the round. I think that'll be those two, like you said, they're 2 teams really playing good rugby at the moment. I'm a Catalan fan. I mean, I'm a Warrington supporter, but I'm a Catalan fan. I like seeing them win. And they travel a lot better than they used to. They've really nailed that with McNamara. He's got them travelling brilliantly well. He's got that routine working really well.
They go a lot earlier now, don't they?
Go earlier. Yeah. And they're no longer an easy win at home that they used to be. So I think I'm going to go Catalan. I think it'll be really close. Don't think it'll be a bit by much, but I think Catalan will pip Wigan.
Yeah, I'm going Catalan as well. I said I'm in another predictions thing, but and I said Catalan today before you said they scored 96 unanswered points.
That's making me doubt myself.
Yeah, I know it made me doubt, but I'm sticking with Catalan. I'm hoping they will beat Wigan.
Right, well, for our mate Graham, who's probably watching, I'm going to go Wigan.
He'll never forgive you.
No. Right, Friday night, whole host of games on Friday night. So Huddersfield Giants versus Castleford. Let's just talk about Castleford, actually, before we go into this. So the manager's been relieved of his duties, or however they put it, by mutual consent, in brackets. He was sacked after 3 games. What do you think about that?
That seems early to go. That seems early.
Bearing in mind the first 3 games have been Wigan, Saints,
they've had a tough ride,
and Hull. So none of those were easy games. Well, it seems like, to me, it seems like a decision that's not actually based on what's happened on the field.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why maybe there is some truth in the, by mutual, consent. They both said, look, I'm struggling. You just don't know. You've got to kind of read between the lines. But it all seems amicable, doesn't it? So to me,
I don't think he played the Westerman situation very well, did he? He was sort of seemed almost joking about it. Lads will be lads, sort of thing, rather than really thinking about the impact that I'd had on a family and the wider than that. So it may be something to do with that. Obviously, we're never going to know, but I'll sort of touch on that.
I wonder whether, because he took over from Darryl Powell, I think, didn't he? And I wonder whether they wanted more out of Cass on a shorter time scale than where he's at. And I think maybe there's a difference of opinion on the journey that Cass were on. And I don't know. Maybe they've got another coach lined up, or maybe Radders has got another job lined up, and this is all.
I've already heard rumours of Australia.
Is there?
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So we'll see where.
Wasn't he Samoa coach of the World Cup, or assistant coach?
Sure, he was involved. He was involved
because he was.
It'd be interesting whether, because sometimes you see a coach go and then they record a win the next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting.
Maybe a caretaker manager waiting to come in.
It's
Andy
Last, isn't it? Yeah.
He's the assistant coach now.
Which is interesting because Andy Last came with him from Hull, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Oh, interesting
Yeah,
talking points.
Yeah, interesting. So, Huddersfield or Castleford then? So, Huddersfield beat Wakefield.
Just.
Just 8-0, close game. And obviously, Cass got a big battering against Wigan. Who do you think?
I don't think they will bounce back. I think Huddersfield will win. I think they started a week late because they didn't get to play Saints that first game. They haven't really hit their straps yet. And Huddersfield, pre-season, were one of the favourites for being top 3, I think, because they've got some real momentum behind them. So I'd go Huddersfield.
I do think they've started a little bit slow, Huddersfield, though.
So I think they'll wake up.
Yeah, I'm going Huddersfield as well.
Yeah, a bit boring then. All 3 of us Huddersfield. Right, Hull KR v Warrington. It's at Hull KR. So Hull KR lost to Lee at the weekend, 25 points to 30, which was a really close game. Charnley nicked it at the end, didn't he, with a high flying in the corner.
Great result for Lee.
Warrington, 36 points to 20 against Salford. Obviously, Warrington haven't lost yet.
I'm a Wire fan, Warrington.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Can't vote
I
against
can't see him losing. You know, it's. I like the idea that Warrington's going on this run. You know what I mean? After last year, it was diabolical, wasn't it? You know, it was the only thing that made me feel good about Leeds early part of the
Warrington
season.
would having it worse.
Yeah. So I'm backing Warrington there.
Yeah, it's. I think Warrington will do it. I don't know if any of you have seen the. There's another podcast, rival podcast.
Is there such a
with
thing?
the CEO of Warrington at the minute?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you listened? And I thought it was quite fascinating to hear how he wanted to stick with Darryl Powell even for all the turmoil that they were going through last season, and he sort of said, we had 14 players that were going to be out of contract. He had to have time to build his squad, and it feels like he's got it right, Powell, at the minute.
Yeah, I like Carl Fitzpatrick. I think he's a really good.
Yes,
He's an ex-player, isn't he?
I don't know.
Sure he used to play.
Widnes.
I think he's a. I like him. He's a really good CEO. He's done great stuff at Warrington, and I think it's an unusual path for an ex-player to go on and be a CEO. And he's the kind of guy who just generally stays out of the limelight a little bit, and you don't often hear from him. But I think he was really good on that podcast.
Yeah, he's quite a character. I'm surprised you didn't see it, Craig.
What, the podcast?
Yeah.
No, I don't watch.
It was.
You did send
Only
it
watch
to me,
this
but
one.
I will have a watch.
That's how a lot of people found ours last week.
Was it?
Yeah,
What, through that?
yeah, because we're CEO of one club, and then we had CEO of Hurricanes on last week, and it's That's how YouTube works. Leeds v Wakey. So you haven't backed your team yet. Are you going to change your mind this week? Because they did have a very good win last week, didn't they?
Well, they did. I mean, the whole game, whatever way you look at it, they won. I had people messaging me saying, "I'm sorry, mate, but Saints were robbed." I don't actually agree with that.
I don't know.
I think we talked about grub. There was equal amounts of grub, and you just that's the way it was. That's the way it ended. So, did you see the Saints fans at the end?
Yeah, I did see that. It wasn't very good, was it?
No, it was
A
not
few
good.
toys got thrown out of the pram.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that because it's
No, we don't talk about that.
positive rugby league.
Yeah.
Positive was,
You
I
always
thought-
get a small minority in knobheads. Let's not focus on that.
Yeah. I'm back in Leeds this week. I really think they'll kick on next week. I've said all along, round 5, I'm consistent with that. And I think they'll beat Waker comfortably. And so I'm back in Leeds.
It's at Leeds as well.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex.
Leeds Wakey.
Yeah, at Leeds.
There's no thought.
I'm going
about-
Wakefield.
What?
I'm going Wakefield. I think Leeds will get cocky. They'll think we're just being Saints. Wakefield are favourites to go down. We'll have these, and Wakefield will come back and give them a go.
Yeah, sounds about right for Leeds.
Leeds are quite similar to Warrington. They tend to underperform against the teams you'd expect them to play well against, and then play well against the good ones.
I think they'll be full of confidence, and I think Leeds will win.
Hey, go on.
I still haven't said anything positive about Wakefield. It's 4 weeks running now.
You are not.
I hope they
welcome.
win soon.
You're not welcome.
Lee v St Helens at Lee, the Leopards. So Lee, big win of the weekend. Saints obviously lost. What do you think? It could be interesting, this one.
I think Lee will promote it really well.
Well, they already have done, haven't they?
They'll
Yeah,
get a
they've
really
got
big
bands
crowd.
on again and all the rest of
They'll
it.
put on
And
a great show, and fair play, they're doing.
Leto will
so
be
many
there.
Good things. So, but I don't think they'll beat the Saints. I think Saints will be hurting after the Leeds game. Will come out firing. So I think Saints.
That spoiler party, Craig.
Yep, Saints definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to back against the Saints, isn't it, these days? Okay, the Saturday game then, Hull FC v Salford. So Hull FC lost to Catalan away last week, 38 points to 6, and Salford also lost. So they're both coming off the back of a loss. Salford lost to Warrington. Another quite a difficult one to call this. It's at Hull FC. I don't think we've seen the best of Salford yet.
No, we haven't. I love the way they play. Yeah, really,
Very expansive team, aren't they?
I think they're a lot of people's second club because they play really good rugby, and so I'd like them to win because I'd like to reward good, entertaining rugby because that's what will get people being positive about our game. Hull are a bit hit and miss, aren't they? You know, they've never really shown any consistency that all those Hull fans are desperately looking for. They've got a good squad, but they're a bit hit and miss, so I'm going Salford.
Right, I don't want to be seen to just follow everything that Alex has said. Right.
That's what you did
Well,
last
you
week
did.
with Greg.
You did it last week. It didn't pay off. So
I
we were
didn't.
all terrible last week.
I didn't do that because I got 3 points. He got 2.
Well, true.
So I didn't. Anyway, but I am going to say the same as Al. For all the same reasons, to be honest. You know what I mean? I do like how Salford play. I like some of the players they've got in there. They've got class and expansive rugby, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think it's going to be a Salford win.
Yeah, on me. It's
Boy,
a bit
there we
boring,
go.
isn't it? Have we got any different suggestions this week? Because we're going to come out drawing.
Well, let's pick out which team, just to make it different, the game that you think is going to have the most points.
Ooh.
I think Catalan, Wigan.
Well, yeah, Wigan, Catalan, both try-scoring teams, aren't they?
They're flying, but they could cancel each other out, and it could be 4-0. But I think they'll. Yeah,
I'm going to say Leeds Wakey game.
Oh yeah.
What are you laughing at?
60-0.
You always, every time I open my mouth, you laughs at me.
38-34. Wakey. That's what we're going for.
Right, brilliant.
Quickly, on the Super League, talking about positive rugby league, how good has the first 3 weeks of the Super League been?
Do you know,
It's been brilliant.
You contrasted last year. I think the new rules they brought in killed the game. I was watching. I was in despair of players pretty much losing their livelihood over. Like it didn't stop the bad tackles.
No.
All it did was we stopped our best players playing for weeks on end. And contrast it to this year, and like I can't wait for the games to come on telly. I think it's so much better this year.
I'm absolutely hooked at the minute. Everything's just positive, isn't it? The stadiums are packed. It looks good on TV. The entertainment before the matches has been brilliant. Channel 4, when they've got a game on, is absolutely fantastic. Saints winning the World Cup challenge. It's just it just seems to be on an absolute up at the minute. I know IMG have sort of taken over. They've taken the reins, haven't they? But I don't think it's really anything they've done. It's
I don't
just
think they're fully doing anything yet. I think
No.
they won't really be
Just
involved for
assessing
another
stuff.
couple of years, or a year or so. But I totally agree. I think it's been great this year, and it needed to be because the World Cup gave this sport so much, of a boost in this country, so much exposure, and we needed to break away. Again, last year was negative. We focused on the red cards and the high tackles and all that sort of stuff, and moaning about the ref. Well, that still happens, but I agree. The highlights this year have produced some brilliant stuff, and